Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Atypical Security Guard coming to you again with another episode of Unedited. These are going to be just straight uploads, apparently from my car. That's the thing to do right now. And they're not going to have any music behind them, no effects, no quick cuts, none of that stuff. We're just going to go right to the point. So today, I had someone reach out to me, and they asked me two questions. Well, I had two people reach out to me. Each person individually asked me one question. So we have two questions, and I'm going to go over both of those. The first one was, I believe, from Officer Penna. Officer Penna has a channel, Officer Penna TV, I believe it is. He's a guard up in Pennsylvania, my old home state. Shout out to the Eagles and the 76ers and the Phillies and the Flyers and Meek Mill and everything Philadelphia, cheesesteaks and bad bitches, all that shit. He asked me, can you tell a story about something that happened? And the answer is yes. I'm going to share a story with you. So today's story goes out to Officer Penna. The importance of having $5 cash. Now, when I got into working armed security, I became a sponge. Like, one of the reasons why I started this channel is I was searching for so much information. I was looking for, security guard uploads, armed officer uploads. And to be quite honest, there wasn't really a lot of good content. Now, what there was a lot of good content on are these former Army Rangers or Navy SEALs or Green Berets. A lot of these guys post their service have started these channels where they're talking about situational awareness or preparedness or, a lot of these things. And it might have been Mike Glover or one of the other channels, but long story short, one of the things that this person was talking about was his everyday carry setup. He was carrying a certain SIG, he was carrying a certain flashlight, spare magazine, certain type of wallet. But one of the things that he said was the most important aspect of staying out of trouble while he was in Afghanistan was to have a certain amount of cash on him, and it was $5. He said, kind of in this off conversation with another guy, he goes, one of the best things you can have in your everyday carry is $5. He goes, you'd be surprised how many situations you can buy yourself out of with $5. And I swear to you, it was like a week later, I was thinking to myself, you know what? And I took $5 cash. Now, I work at a particular retail establishment. I'm not going to name them. That's professional. But we have a very, very high volume of homeless, mentally ill, and drug addict people that come into this facility. It's specifically why the company that I work for is there. Another thing here in Portland is, with all of the restrictions around firearms, there is absolutely zero regulation on knives. You can literally carry a knife almost any length, and most people do. And a lot of the homeless, a lot of the mentally ill, a lot of the drug addicted in this area that I work, they carry machetes, right? It's like being in fucking West Africa somewhere with the amount of machetes that I've seen confiscated and dealt with since the time that I've worked for this company. So on this particular day, we had a guy that came into the store. Now, as you come down into this garage area, we have something here in Portland that's called bottle drop, right? And it's like a state or a metro run program where you can drop off your cans, drop off your bottles. It's a recycling program. And if you drop off 24 bottles or cans, you get like $2. It's not very much, but it's an incentive for a lot of the homeless in the area. Like, it's a way for them to get cash. So on any given day, if you're in and around Portland, you will see the homeless community just dragging these cans, and they'll go from one bottle drop location to another, and they'll get their $2. So this particular day, we have a guy that comes in, he comes down to the garage, goes upstairs into the actual store, and when you drop off these bottles, it prints out these little tickets. You can take the tickets to the customer service area, they'll scan them, they'll give you your $2. So I get a call that there's a guy headed towards customer service with a machete. All right. So me, loss prevention, we run downstairs, and this isn't like uncommon, but the call sounded a little bit different than normal because this guy actually had the machete out. So we get in there. Sure enough, the guy sees us. He puts the machete in his backpack, right? And you can just tell that he's clearly mentally ill. He turns in one of the tickets. He gets his $2. We have a brief back and forth, right? My loss prevention officer is closer to this guy than I want him to be, and I almost pull my taser, right? We're able to talk this guy off the ledge, get him out of the store. We feel like we've kind of dodged a bullet, but within 5 minutes, we get a call that he's downstairs with the machete out, right? And he's swinging the machete. And there's all these people down there, and people are freaking out. They're afraid to get out of their cars. You know, this is a potential bad situation. Now, I've already talked to this person, and clearly, I'm just, without describing what went on in this conversation, I know that this guy is not in a good place mentally. I know that he probably doesn't have a lot to lose, and more than likely, I'm going to have to either tase or do something even worse, okay? So we go downstairs, and I see him from about 50 feet away, right? And I remember, sometimes you can buy your way out of a situation, right? So as I come down, I yell from across the door, and I say, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he goes, "I'm coming back in to cash this last ticket." And I said, "Stop for a second. You're going to get $2 if you go inside and you cash that ticket, right?" And he says, "Right." And I said, "I'm willing to buy your ticket for $4. I'm going to take $4 in cash, and I'm going to put it right here on this pylon. I'm going to step back. You take the $4. You leave the ticket. So you're going to make an extra $2 by not going inside. All I want you to do, take the $4, and I want you to leave. Do we have a deal?" He goes, "You're going to give me $4 for a $2 ticket." I said, "Absolutely. My only request is that you leave and you don't come back for the rest of the day." No problem. Comes over, puts the machete in his backpack again, takes the $4, leaves the ticket, and he leaves. I bought my way out of having to do something egregious to this man. I bought my way out of having to fill out paperwork. I bought my way out of having to explain myself, potentially defend myself in court, potentially lose my job. I mean, we've talked about all of the things that we have to deal with in security. We've talked about how easy it is for us to be thrown under the bus. We don't have a union. We don't have any qualified immunity. To me, that $4 was money well spent to not put myself in a situation where I was going to have to go hands-on, because I'm telling you guys, this was not going to be a situation where I was going to be able to talk him down a second time. So, my point, that was money well spent. And that was information that I learned directly from watching videos. And all of the information that I was getting on this one video that this person had made that was so intricate and so in-depth, and he was talking about so much. But the most important nugget of information that I got from that was keeping that $5 in cash in your pocket. So, Officer Penna, that's my story for today. The second question came from another gentleman, and I apologize, but I forgot your name. He is an older gentleman. I believe he owns a security company. He seems to have a very extensive knowledge of our industry. He seems like he's been doing this for a long time, and frequently he comments on my videos, and I really appreciate you being here, sir. I'm sorry I don't know your name, and I will make sure to upload that in the next video to make sure I shout out your channel as well. But we were talking about firearms, or maybe it was one of the other videos, but the question that he proposed, and I'm paraphrasing here, was, you know how it is with black men and guns, and you're aware that even if you're armed and if you're certified and you have your concealed carry license, you know that cops still see black men with firearms in a different light. And I would love to hear your opinion on that. And I got to be honest. Now I remember it was the 2A. It was the Respect My 2A Commitment video. And listen, you're absolutely right. Guys, I want to be really open with you here. There is not a day that goes by when I put my uniform on that I don't think about the ramifications of something going down, me having to draw my firearm, and what's going to happen when the cops show up on the scene. I mean this with all sincerity when I say that I literally fear for my life every single day. I am very well aware of the history of this country. I'm very well aware of the history of how black men specifically are viewed, how black men are viewed when they have a weapon. I'm very aware of the current relationship between the black community and law enforcement, and also the historical relationship between the black community and law enforcement. So to answer your question, I think about it every single day. I worry that I'm going to find myself in some situation, regardless of the fact that I have multiple concealed carry license, that I have a DPSST certification, that I'm wearing a uniform. I do not for 1 second think that that takes away my blackness or how that could be used against me in a certain situation. And I worry about that. I do. I think about it every single day. But I also understand that regardless of how things could go, like, I can't let that deter me from doing my job. And I can't let that deter me from caring personally in my civilian life. And I can't let that dictate my stance as a two-way advocate. I get a lot of pushback from my family and from other black men, specifically saying the exact same thing. Hey man, you're talking about guns, you're, posting videos of you training, and, you're talking about, your stance on the Second Amendment. Like, don't you understand, like, how this is coming off and how people might see this, and, how that might go down if you're ever, yeah, I get it. And I understand that the Constitution, as originally written, did not have me or my rights in mind. But I am a veteran, I am a taxpayer, and I am an American citizen. And as it stands today, this day, right now, 2021, all of the rights that are afforded to an American tax-paying citizen are also afforded to me. Now, we can debate to what extent that is true and to what degree, but I am not going to not live my life, number one, and not take full advantage of my rights, number two, regardless of where that leads or regardless of how that ends up. I fought for my rights. My ancestors fought for my rights, and I am going to exercise them, all of them, every last one of them, especially the Second Amendment, regardless of how people see that or how that could end up for me down the line. I'm not gonna shy away from it. So yeah, it's tough, and I think about it every single day, and it's scary. But life is scary, and I'm a man, so it is what it is. All right, so guys, if you have any questions, you can reach me, safeportsecure@gmail.com. You can always drop a comment below. Tell me what you think about these unedited videos. Is this something that you would like to see more of, or is this just like too much of me ranting and rambling? Let me know, and then we'll go from here. All right, guys, be great.